Reggae and dancehall star Sizzla Alcock has been remanded in an Amsterdam prison until October after a court appearance
to me years ago and tell me that to be careful, and I explained to him what happened.
They tried to bury him twice. They put him in a cage. They threw away the key. They thought that was the end of Jah Cure. Sizzla Alcock, known as the voice of longing for. You know him as the man who recorded albums from a prison cell, but you don't know the half of it. Today, I'm breaking the ice silence, the rape case, the stabbing in Amsterdam, the voice notes, part 1, the dream, and the mentor. Before the handcuffs, there was the music. Born in Hanover, raised in Kingston, Capleton gave Sizzla Alcock the name, however. It was Beres Hammond who gave Jah Cure the chance. He saw a kid with a dream, considering the dangerous neighborhood he was from and struggles he went through. He took him under his wing and exposed him to all the shows he could find at the time. In 1997, Jah Cure dropped King in This Jungle with Sizzla. The streets were vibrating. All he could dream of started manifesting. As the young Rasta started touring Europe, living the dream, attention, awards, and of course, insolent pride that started creeping in. And then it stopped. Part 2, the arrest November 1998, Montego Bay. While driving in Montego Bay, the police pulled Jah Cure over. Next thing he knew, he was being charged. The previous night out with 2 tourists, he was identified by a local woman who claimed he was one of 2 men who had forced her into a car, raped, and robbed her at gunpoint. He was charged with 2 counts of rape, robbery with aggravation, and illegal possession of a firearm and rape. Looking at the woman in the courtroom, he claimed he had never seen her before in his life. While he maintained his innocence, he was taken into custody and eventually tried in the gun court. Eventually, the Rasta was found guilty and sentenced to 15 years, seeking correction and alignment in a 1 prison cell. He spent out his days claiming the system in Jamaica doesn't always care about the truth. They gave him 15 years, long, hard years. 15 years to reflect. He was 20 years old at the time. His career was dead, reputation shattered, his freedom gone. Part 3, the prison studio. They sent Jah Cure to the St. Catherine prison, then to Tower Street to serve out his sentence and contemplate his crimes. Most men break in there, with Jamaican prisons registering some of the worst cases of sanitary-related prison diseases. But luckily, the Rasta Jah Cure, he found access to a studio. That's where he recorded Free Jah's Cure, Ghetto Life, Freedom Blues. Cure released 3 albums and a number of singles from prison, some of which have topped the Jamaican chart. It was all in a cell, but his voice traveled the world. They tried to silence him, but the music offered freedom, an escape from the unpleasantries of prison life. In some of his deepest and intense moments, he sat in there and wrote true reflections, thinking about his mistakes. All he could think about was redemption. And in 2007, after 8 years, they opened the gate. He walked out. The world was waiting. He played his first show in Holland in front of an astonishing 20,000 people. They sang every word. It felt like a movie. Jah Cure came out stronger with some of the best hits of his entire career. Middle Earth Orbit was the limit. Part 4, Success. And the same old stories. Rasta Cure released The Universal Cure, a blockbusting album that saw him attain a Grammy nomination. Hit records filled the airwaves and tours reciprocated. The money flowed and he used the opportunity to got married and had a daughter. Jah Cure was sailing off into his dreams in broad daylight. It seemed he was, but the past is a shadow. They tried to ban him first from the UK. They tried to stop him from performing after he displayed arrogant and rowdy behavior, consistently harassing women and being nuisance. And then, the money problem started. Look, in this business, people owe you. Promoters take your percentage, said Jah Cure. They smile on their faces as they empty your pockets, said Jah Cure after he hit rock bottom on his finances and failing to properly handle the relationship with his managers and producers. Part 5.
Cure
Amsterdam,
serving his
on the
6-year
7th
sentence
October,
in a Dutch prison.
2021. Amsterdam. A promoter. A dispute over unpaid fees. This man, Ricardo Papa Blake, owed Jah Cure, and he knew it. They met one fateful day. Words were exchanged. Things got physical. For a moment, Jah Cure, possessed with anger, intoxicated, with the resolve of a man on the brink of financial ruin, rose up. There was a struggle. He stabbed the promoter in Amsterdam in the abdomen during a dispute over an unpaid performance fee of 5,000 euros. The media called it attempted murder. They called me him monster. But here is what the news won't tell you. It was self-defense, Jah Cure said, defending himself. They took him to court. They sentenced him to 6 years. He tried to appeal it. In the initial conviction, March 2022, he was convicted of attempted manslaughter and sentenced to 6 years in prison. The court originally acquitted him of attempted murder, citing a lack of evidence for premeditation. In an unfortunate turn of events, on the fateful day, October 30th, 2025, Amsterdam Court of Appeal overturned the previous ruling and found him guilty of attempted murder, citing the Rasta had acted with intent, adding Jah Cure an additional 8 blood clot years. Part 6. The Scammer Accusations. Let's address the elephant in the room, the leaked voice notes, the easy money. People say Jah Cure scammed him, and he was a no-show, and still demanded money to be paid on top of preliminary bookings already made by the promoter. It's apparent Rasta Jah took his money and disappeared, and had the audacity to demand for more by force. Bumbleclat, you heard the voice notes. Jah Cure said angrily. You know why? Because in this industry, people think they can buy you for pennies. They think they own you. Jah Cure ranted. I charged him for a feature. He paid. Then the label got involved. Contracts got messy, said Jah Cure in an interview from his Dutch prison. But let me make this clear. I am not a scammer. My music speaks for itself. If you have a problem, come correct. Don't go to the internet to cry. Jah Cure clearly unhinged and visibly shaken by the reality of serving another decade in prison, with no support from his own country due to his moral misconduct. Another decade to lament repeating the same mistake twice. Part 7. The Mute Movement and the Future Now with a new movement. Mute Jah Cure. There is a move to erase him from the radio. They want to pretend he never existed because he's in a prison again. Jah Cure, in a recent interview behind bars, claimed reggae music is about struggle. Bob Marley survived an assassination attempt. Buju Banton survived prison. And here I am. They tried to mute me, but they can't mute the truth. You can't mute a voice that comes from the soul, said Jah Cure. We don't know for sure when he will be walking out of these Dutch prison gates. But hopefully at a ripe old age, the question is, will you be there to listen to Jah Cure again? Once Jah Cure get muted the same way R. Kelly is, time will surely tell if he is corrected and has changed his ways. If you like this, support the channel. Give this a thumbs up. Turn up the likes to 1,000 ya bobber clat. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell. I'm out.
Almost, to be exact. This happened. A friend of mine sent this video to me years ago and tell me that to be careful, and I explained to him what happened. These girls that came here, how I met them the first time is that one of them got beat up by some dancers, some street dancer guy who said that she mixed him up with his wife and he beat her so bad. They reached out to me as a friend that I know a long time, and I put them up, show them love. They flow out. If I never show them love, they wouldn't ask me to come back here, and I show them love on a brotherly terms. But they know people in Jamaica. They've been coming to Jamaica like 4 or 5 times. Remember, she was talking to a dancer, and then they know artists. So in that time of grief when they were hurt about the situation, I'm sure they send the video to maybe a couple of or few or maybe one Jamaican friend, who knows. But it was there all this time. But it just leaves me to figure that it seems like now it, fall into one of the hands of someone that would really like to terminate you, in every way they can. Them social media warfare that them set up out there for fight. These are them little trick where them pull. Yeah, because everyone have them private life. And you don't know. You and someone in an argument and someone a video you without you knowledge is a form of setup and a blackmail. You feel me? Yeah, because I was always good to them. That was the only bad moment me and them share from the time they were here in Jamaica. I show them so much love and take care of them. It's just because I've realized things missing in my house, valuable items, and some cash. And I asked about it, and it caused some vibes, and we just start talking about all of different things. So I said, yeah, I'm grateful. Let's give back my ticket. You know what I mean? Yeah, plus I'm not fucking even either of them either. I know it's wrong to talk to them the way I was talking to them. And I definitely apologize for that in myself. But deeply, they know I didn't mean anything because I didn't touch them.